Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. You know the score by now. My name is Jason and I am your watch guy today. Now I'm going to be very presumptuous and presume that you've gotten me past the 700 subscriber mark by now. So thank you very much for that to everyone who's subscribed. If you're not subscribed already, make sure you hit that subscribe button. I have 3 videos a week and you will enjoy them. Now that's done. Today I have a little bit of a special review. Now I've mentioned before that a subscriber called Brian has sent me a couple of watches. I've already reviewed his Cabot and I have 2 more after this one to also review. But this one, very special. It's a nice piece. It's something that I have really cherished having in my possession for these last few weeks. So Brian is actually ex-military, Navy to be precise, and he has sent me in his issued CWC G10. I am absolutely flabbergasted that he actually sent me this. As you can imagine, it's a very special piece to him and it has been treated like that. Whilst being in my care, it's been treated like absolute gold. Now I'm actually a little bit of a military nerd myself, especially when it comes to military issued watches. So this has been a real pleasure to have in. Thank you again so much for sending me this, Brian. Absolute gent. So guys, without further ado, let's turn this camera around and let's get into this review. So this is Brian's CWC G10. Absolutely gorgeous little watches. These, the epitome of a field watch in my opinion. Now, first of all, let me get into a little bit of history on CWC. CWC stands for Cabot Watch Company. It was founded in 1972 by an ex-Hamilton employee, Ray Mellor. Mellor served as a merchant marine in World War II. After starting CWC, he decided to concentrate the company's efforts on MOD contracts. CWC was soon supplying the British Army, Navy and Air Force. Packed with Swiss movements and built to last, they were the perfect military watches. Now they've been supplying the British military since 1980. This watch was actually issued to Brian in 1989. I'll tell you how I know that. If you have a look at the back, it has a lot of information there. I will go through that later in the video, but at the bottom here, it actually has the issue year, 89. Now Brian has this on a little suede type of NATO strap, which I think really does look good with this one, but it's not a part of the watch that I will be reviewing today because obviously it's something that he's added himself. Now these watches are packed with Swiss movements. They originally were packed with an ETA 55112. Nowadays they would be packed with a 955102. They are precise Swiss movements and it's one of the selling points of these watches. They may be quartz, but that is the most precise type of movement that you can pack a watch with. So you can see why it's being used in these. Now let's get into the dimensions of this watch. In diameter, it's 35 millimeters. Thickness, it is 10 millimeters, and lug to lug, it's 42 millimeters. The lug width is a strange 19 millimeter. It's harder to find bands for a 19mm watch, but they are out there. This compact case is made out of steel finished in a matte brushing, as you can see. I think that epitomizes the field style type of watch. I really do like that matte finish on these types of watches. The case is curved towards these crown guards, which makes them subtly fit into the watch. The crown is a simple pull push crown. As you can see, it is a hackable movement, also perfect for aligning your watches with each other whilst you're in the field. Pretty much a necessity for any military watch, I think. This is an acrylic domed crystal, very cheap in nature, and they do scratch. They are known to be very scratch prone. That covers the dial. Now let me just unwrap this NATO strap and show you what's on the back here. So the magic really does happen on the back of these watches. We have a battery hatch for easy replacement. These numerals signify the issue sector, stock number, country, serial number, and obviously, as I said before, the year. This arrow here signifies the government property or the military issue. As we know, this one was issued to Brian while he was in the Navy in '89. Another thing you may have noticed while I had this band off is that there aren't actually spring bars on this one. They are molded to the casing, and you will find this living on NATO straps or the like. Now, as we move into this dial, you can see that it's a very simple and legible design, made up of a flat black dial with very legible white markings, CWC circled logo printed at 12 o'clock, followed by the circled T. You see this T here actually signifies the type of loom used. They used the tritium loom on these CWCs at this time. Nowadays you'll find an L circled on the dial, and that's because they now use Lumabrite. So yeah, a little bit of a factoid there for you. Bold Arabic numerals at the hour indices. They are very nice and legible. We have thicker batons at the 3, 6, 9 and 12. As you can see, the 12 numeral has been replaced by that triangular symbol. We have a large quartz label above the 6 with a Swiss made label just below that 6 o'clock there, obviously signifying the use of the Swiss ETA movement in the back of this one. We have a mixture of a sword and pencil style handset here. Nice sword style hour hand, which just about reaches the hour numerals, and this very long pencil style minute hand, which reaches all the way to the edge of that minute track. I really do like this minute track around the edge. I think that's a really nice and legible type of design. Really flows with the military type of feel of this watch. And if you look back into military watches and issued military watches back in the 40s, you'll also find a lot of these rail track type of designs. So I think it really looks good on this type of watch. As you can see, a very simple, thin second hand completes the handset, which reaches all the way to the edge of that minute track. Now, I was very, very impressed with this watch, and I'll show you it on wrist now, just so you can see how easily wearable it is and how conformative it is to your wrist. As you can see, with the really compact casing, it has no issue fitting onto smaller wrists, and I imagine I'd be very comfortable on larger wrists too. It does come off the wrist a little bit on these NATO straps, as you'd probably expect, but I think it's brilliant. I really do. I think it's a lovely little watch, and I'd love to own one of these myself. Now, I thought very hard about the moan section for this watch, and I was very tempted to just say, I don't really have any. I think it's all built to purpose, and it does what it does very well. The only thing that I could really come up with is that the acrylic crystal is very scratch prone, but you know what? Get a little poly watch and it's perfectly manageable. I just think this is a brilliant watch, and as I say, it does what it does very well, and it does no more. It doesn't need to. I can see why these were such commonplace in the military for so many years. I can see why so many people are so fond of them. I think they're brilliant watches, they really are. So guys, that is my review of the CWC G10. Now, you can still pick these up nowadays. They have a newer Swiss movement in them. They're pretty much exactly the same design. They're still made by Cabot watch company. They're just not issued to the military anymore, which I think really is a massive shame. But at least we can still enjoy them ourselves. They are packed with a Lumabrite loom nowadays instead. One thing I would like to mention is I didn't do a loom shot on this particular watch. It's just that with the amount of age that has gone into this watch, I just thought it wouldn't really be a fair comparison to the new released watches that they offer now. So yeah, just thought I'd leave that one out there. I think they're around £210 if you wanted to go pick one up nowadays. I think they're brilliant watches, and I can see why they're still so popular. Brian, thank you so much for sending this one in to me. I know it's a very special piece to you, and that made it all the more special for myself to review it and try and give it a little bit of a platform that it so deserves. Thank you for watching this one, guys. If you haven't already subscribed, please do so, and I will see you in the next one.